Jackie Earle Haley did work for me. I liked him as Freddy, okay? He brought his own little thing to it. A lot of it had to do with, he wasn't given much to work with in the script at all, okay? But you could see that he had really familiarized himself with the knives. There were moments where he was like rubbing his fingers together and playing with the knives and making cool little sounds and that kind of thing. It was reminiscent of Willem Dafoe as Max Schreck in Shadow of a Vampire. But he kind of made it his own. I thought he did a good job. The script just wasn't there. They had a chance to start new with Freddy, and they really didn't. They kind of they put too many one-liners into the movie, and they never really left him in shadows. I had a big problem with that. Whenever you see him, you know, he's usually fully exposed, fully in the light. There's very few moments where he's actually in the shadows and mysterious and threatening in that manner. He's almost always in full light. I really didn't like that. There were too many one-liners that just kept him from being creepy. And yes, while the makeup looks good and it looks like a realistic burn makeup, I think that was a mistake to a certain extent. I don't know, he just looked like a claymation person to me. He looked too much like a person wearing makeup. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure how else to explain it. But when you have a creature that's haunting you in your dreams and he's supposed to create this discordant feeling, why does his makeup need to be realistic? It shouldn't be. It should be nightmarish. So, yes, the makeup looked good, but I'm not sure that it really serviced the story in being realistic in that way. So, I don't know. They never really make it clear where the knives come from in this movie. I don't want to spoil, again, I'm not going to spoil anything, but there was a reason for it in Craven's original. In this one, not so much. It's just like something he has. Opening sequences are nice, but then you have this lag throughout the middle of the movie where none of the nightmarish scenes are very nightmarish. I mean, they look nice, but there is so much CGI. It looks bad. Nothing really looks realistic except for like the snow falling in the room or the scenes in the boiler room, because it's obviously a boiler room. So those sequences, they just don't work. It's kind of like a real world being invaded by cartoons, and that just wasn't nightmarish at all. The movie lags through the second act and the first part of the third act because the kids are searching for this mystery behind Freddy and why he's doing what he's doing. But that's a script mistake, because everybody knows why Freddy's doing what he's doing. They basically tell you in the trailer. There's only a slight, if you want to call it, a twist to it. So it's a mistake. So you have an audience that's ahead of your characters to a certain extent, and they're waiting for them to catch up. And the dialogue is not engaging, so there's nothing to really keep you entertained and occupied while these characters go about their detective Nancy Drew moments. So I thought that was just a big mistake. If we run down the Streebo slasher stats, let's see, we have people getting their throats cut. We've got, 50 gallons of blood. We got CGI Freddy coming out of the wall. We've got CGI ashes being blown around everywhere. We've got sequences with boiler rooms. We've got people being slashed with knives. We've got kids being terrorized. You got the creepy little girls jumping rope. You have all these sequences that are from Wes Craven's original that were dropped in here and there just because they felt like they needed to include them. And they tried their best to inject some adrenaline in it and turn it up to 10, where instead of Nancy running up the steps and they turn to goo underneath her, they say, hey, well, let's turn the whole floor underneath her into blood. So you have that kind of stuff. You do have some gory moments, but I felt like for the most part, the majority of them were all CGI and they didn't look good, with the exception of 1 or 2 or 3 kill sequences which were decent and were nicely done. For the most part, the CGI was too overwhelming. It just looked bad. I didn't like the final jump at the end. Some people did. I didn't. I thought it looked too hokey. I just had a big problem with the CGI in this movie. So if we go over to the Streebo Screamometer, due to bad CGI, bad script, but some decent sequences early on, bad pacing, I'm going to have to give the Nightmare on Elm Street remake a 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. This is, to this point, the lowest rating I've given any of the remake series. I did written reviews for Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Dawn of the Dead remakes, but for my video reviews, most of them have come in around a 6, some at a 7. I gave a higher rating to Rob Zombie's Halloween. I'm one of the few that really like that. But I had high hopes for this movie, though I went in with lowered expectations. I really wanted it to offer me something. I wanted to go along with the ride. I wanted to see what Jackie Earle Haley was going to bring to it, and he did a good job, but the script wasn't there. Platinum Dunes did not do their homework. Samuel Bayer is a music video director, and it shows in this movie. He has no idea how to create an atmosphere. He has no idea how to tell a horrific movie, how to tell a horrific tale, and to create a feeling of dread or impending menace. And it really shows, and it really hurts. I'm sorry, but Jackie Earle Haley did a fantastic job, but the script was not there for him. The makeup, while being realistic, I do not think was properly nightmarish enough. And Freddy had too many one-liners, was too in the light. Some people might disagree with me. They like the one-liners, but I thought there were too many. Freddy was much more imposing, much more disturbing in Wes Craven's original, where he's in the darkness for the majority of the movie. And, you know, he stalks them from the shadows. And Craven did a much better job of creating an atmosphere that really sucks you in. And I know this because I saw the re-release of A Nightmare on Elm Street back in 2006. I watched this in the theater, and I compared the theater experiences, the crowd experiences, with both. Craven's movie plays like gangbusters. People jump, scream through the whole thing. This movie, people jump through the first 20, maybe 30 minutes. Then after that, they were just quiet for the rest of it. So on an opening night, Thursday at midnight, people should scream from the beginning to the end. That's just me. That's my opinion. If you are a die-hard fan of the series, I know you are if you're watching this, I say go see it so you know for yourself, but you're probably going to be let down and feel disappointed. So I'll see you next time, guys. It's Streebo from Mutantville.com signing out.